right, welcome back for another episode of the Wednesday Watch List. This is my weekly look ahead to all the new comics coming out this Wednesday, October 15th, 2025. I'll give you a rundown on all the books on my pull list, things to keep an eye out for when you go to your shop, maybe mention some books that are already selling at a premium, and just give you kind of a heads up on things you need to know before you go to your shop to pick up your books this week. Hopefully you're enjoying this series as well as everything else here on the channel. Please let me know what you think in the comments down below. Make sure that you like, you subscribe, you hit the alert button so you don't miss anything. Hit that hype feature if it's available to you because it helps the channel as well. And keep telling your friends so we can keep growing the channel. Now, with all of that said, sorry this is a little late. This didn't come out last night, but I got kind of caught up watching Monday Night Football and just didn't get time to sit down and record this one because this one could run a little long. But I'll try to do my best to be quick today to get your rundown out to you as I need to prep for Baltimore. And if you guys are coming to Baltimore Comic-Con this week, please stop by and see us. We will have 2 tables in Artist Alley, so come by, say hello, get yourself a free blind bag of comics that I've procured from dollar bins and etc. over my years of collecting that I need to kind of clear from my studio because I would like to redo this studio a little bit. But right now, if you could see it, it is packed to the gills with short boxes full of comics just everywhere. Anyway, with all of that said, if you want to see this week's rundown, don't worry, I got you covered. I'll be right back after this short little break. All right, so as we usually start off with, I would reveal any secret editions, but I don't think there were any secret drops this week that I'm aware of as of yet. Then we would go right to the top of the stack. However, this week is a little bit different as there are no real standouts outside of my pull list that I want to highlight for my top of the stack that I'm not going to be covering in these other segments. So let's just get right into the show and start off with one of the things that'll be one of the first things I tear into, and that will be blind bags. I know they're not for everybody, but blind bags are here and every publisher is doing them right now. This week's installment comes to us from KeenSpot with Monsters. Monster and the Wolf #1 is going to have a lot of covers. A lot. Now, we just had the DC KO event. We had Batman before that with DC. Marvel still coming with their Ultimate book coming out soon in a blind bag. So like I said, everyone's doing them at cons, etc. But this week's release at your shop, if you're interested, you can get Monster and the Wolf #1, this trick-or-treat blind bag for the first issue of this new series from Mark Spears, which I think is a fun idea. I do think this is a very fun idea to do blind bags in this manner. It's basically for regular cover price as opposed to DC, who's premium pricing their foil editions in the blind bags at $10 a pop. These are $6, but that is what a regular cover price KeenSpot book costs you these days. This is more akin to when Battle Beast did their blind bags, and those were what, $3.99, which was great. That adds to the fun. That lets more people get involved. It doesn't scare away people with an increased price point. So I like this. That said, there are a lot. Not only are there a lot of different covers in this, but there were a lot printed. You can see down below, print run of 350,000, which is unheard of for an independent book. Like, that is high level Marvel DC these days. Yes, I know, go back in the day, you got X-Men and their 8 million and Spawn, millions and yada yada. I get that. We're not in the 90s anymore. So these days, if a book hits a couple 100,000, it's a standout, like Batman 1 recently, or the Batman Deadpool crossover, which I think hit about 500,000 recently. So that's the kind of context I'm giving you here. So think about how many Batman Daredevil books came out, how many different covers, not counting the exclusives. That's what we're talking about here. So with that all prefaced, what's actually inside this blind bag? Well, like I said, there's a lot. From what I've heard, there are 90 different covers. Some different variations, as you can see here from this little rundown I found that Mark posted on his IG the other day. That base level, 288,000. So per design, there's almost 10,000 per design. You see the percentages of what you can get. There's trick ones, there's foil ones, there's sketch ones, there's glow-in-the-dark ones, there's black and white ones, and then there's secret editions. Things like the black and white and the glows are limited to 2,500 copies per cover. So, okay, you see where the limited nature kind of falls into place, where the secrets are 2,000. 500 per design. Oh, that's total. So 500 per design. So then you're talking about some books that are limited to only 500 a piece, which, okay, you can see why people are going to be chasing them. They may fetch a premium. Well, they will fetch a premium price on the aftermarket if people pull them when they break and they get those hits, much like the card market. And that's where these blind bags are kind of coming from. It's kind of coming from the card market. But just to give you a sense of some of the covers, again, there's 90. I'm not showing you all 90 covers. You want to go see them all, there's plenty of places on the internet. We don't have time. It'll take up the whole show if I did that. So I'll show you a few that I thought were kind of cool. And here, some of these images are books that we've seen like before. They might have been part of possible Kickstarter covers, some cards that Mark has done throughout his card sets and series over time, and some new homages and things like that. As you can see here, you got the the classic, what was that, Chamber of Chills, I believe. Then you got some cool stuff here, like in the tub with the hand. That's almost like the Freddy Krueger in Nightmare on Elm Street kind of angle there. This one looks like it's probably a glow in the dark edition based off the colors that I'm looking at here. So they got that going for it. Other homages and things like that are just, they're fun covers, and I get it. They're going to be fun to try to collect and get as many as you can. I actually did order personally more than I thought of this blind bag, so I'm going to have a bunch to open up. I don't know what I'm going to do with all of them, but I'm probably going to open them all up. Don't get crazy. I know people have been pre-selling these like on Whatnot for premium prices. As I said, look at that number. I'm sure your shop is going to have plenty as long as they bought in. And if they didn't, there's plenty of online retailers that I think still have them for sale. I mean, I think I bought a lot of 10 from Golden Apple. I think DCBS also had them offered, but they were actually at a discount with my pre-order price there. But you'll see things more homages here. As this one is much like the Dave Stevens, and you can see there after Stevens, he's paying credit to the original inspiration, that Elvira book number 11, one of those last to knows that I've covered here before. Apart from, and then you can see there also with the trade dress, he does like the DC trade dress up above, which I also think is a nice touch. And then we get some other cool stuff here, like we got the Phantom right here, brought you monsters, things you'll never forget. There's a lot of cool stuff. And then we get the obligatory Spider-Man homages here and things like that. But again, you see how the trade dress plays in with the book that it's homaging. And I think I got one more of an example here. Just some cool stuff. See, I like the rear view mirror that you could see the reflection of the wolf in the rear view mirror. You got the two faces and the hands. It's a great, it's a great perspective used. So it's a little something different from other books that you might see that he's done. With that, and with all of these printings and all of these bags going to be printed, there are incentives. So have to keep an eye on these, but these are some high ratio things because, again, people ordered these in droves. I've heard people buying lots of 50 for themselves to open. It's crazy. Here you go. There is a 1 in 250 that kind of looks like a Samurai Skeletor that I think is really cool. I like the blues and the purple because, again, it's colored like Skeletor, but it's a samurai. I think this is pretty badass. But it's a 1 in 250 foil. I am not paying 1 in 250 prices. I just can't. But we'll see. I think most of these things are listed for under ratio if you're interested, but that's still a lot of money in my book. So we'll see how many are out there, how many come to market, how many might sell. But that's not the highest. That's the start. We got no 1 in 25s. There are no 1 in 50s, no 1 in 100s. We start at 1 in 250 because then we've got a 1 in 1,000. Oh, I'm sorry, a 1 in 500 glow in the dark cover here, which again is pretty cool, but it's a 1 in 500. The 1 in 1,000, my bad, is the metal edition here of Dracula. So there is a 1 in 1,000. And again, if there's 350,000 printed, that means there's going to be at least 350 of these, right? I mean, that's just math. So with that said, I know that's not exactly how these things always work, but I figure that's probably a safe bet on how many they at least produce to be on the safe side. If not with overages to cover for damages, etc. Who knows? With all that said, 1 in 1,000 metal of this cover, and that is our blind bag of the week. Sorry I spent so much time on that, but there's a lot of covers in there, a lot of books, and I think it's going to be a lot of conversation this week about that book in particular. So with that, let's move on again to things that might be in my top of the stack type pull list. And I mentioned DCKO with their blind bag last week, or was it the week before? I can't remember now. Or I think it was just last week. This week, we continue the event. So DCKO is DC's big event of the season, and we've got tie-ins, and I'm going to list those tie-ins for you as they release. It's one of the things I'll do for the big events that the publishers are doing, and most likely I'm buying into most. I'm not going to be getting every tie-in for DCKO. I'll put that one out there right now. Just not going to happen. So I'm not personally picking up Titans number 28. But Titans 28 is our first tie-in to this big event to go with the issue 1 that was just released. So here we go, spinning out of the story. Now we've got the Titans. Cover A option here, cover B as well as, and that's kind of a fun one with the Dark Side poster. And then we got a cover C. DC has moved away from incentives currently. There's not many books that have incentives for them, which I think is a welcome breath of fresh air. It is something nice to give us all a little bit of a break. And they're books that anybody can get if they just want to buy them and they want to order them. Granted, you still save a buck by getting the cover A, but if you want to get those other covers, you can, and it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg to do so. With that said, here's our reading order so far. I'm going to just do this for the start of the series. I probably won't keep it up for the whole thing because it'll probably get a little bit unwieldy. But for now, we have the 2 prologue books, the core issue that came out on the 8th last week, and then this week we got 1 issue coming out. So this is the 4th book to tie in to this event so far. A couple more coming next week, but for now, this is all we got. If you want to get on board to this storyline early, you don't have a lot of catching up to do. Now's the time to do it before you get lost in the sauce. Now, with that, Marvel is also doing their big event for the season, and it is X-Men related, and I am buying into this because, well, I am an X-Men Homer fan, and I just do things like that, especially when we're talking about something that's even closely related to Age of Apocalypse, which was one of my favorite storylines from back in the day. I love the event. I love that everything went on pause. All the books went to a different universe. We had different minis featuring a lot of different versions of my favorite characters and even characters I didn't care for all that much. But the storyline made them more interesting because things were changed and flipped on their head. Hoping to get something similar here with Age of Revelation. It's not the exact same because it's not Apocalypse. It's his I don't want to say protege, his what's when you inherit something? I can't think of the word. Anyway, make fun of me in the chat all that you like. I'm just drawing a blank right now as I try to get this done. But Age of Revelation, we've got Revelation, who was Doug Ramsey, taking over the mantle for Apocalypse. But here are this week's releases. And like I said, I'm picking up all of them. Or one way or another. I've either long-term pre-ordered them from DCBS or I'm just picking them up for my shop because I'm going to check them all out. I'm going to see which ones are good, which ones I don't like, and we'll see how long I hang with them. With that said, Iron and Frost may not be the one I'm most excited about because I'm not still in love with this whole Emma Tony thing, but it's still out there. So we'll see. Cold as Frost, Hard as Iron. I do like this cover. This is pretty good by Ryan Brown. So this is the one I'm actually getting, but there are multiples. Marvel is still doing the incentive thing, so you can see plenty of those coming our way soon. This is a B cover though. We didn't get the incentives yet. Ricky Yagawa is doing a lot of these like character features, character spotlight type covers for these Age of Revelation books. So you'll see each one of these books seems to have a Yagawa cover. So keep those in mind if you want to collect those as a set. They're kind of a set. So, good luck to you. And then we got another D cover here. Pretty cool. You got Emma in her diamond form holding Tony's heart. Fun. And then we get a reverse for the 1 in 25, and we see Tony holding Emma's diamond heart. A little creepy, but there you go. And that's the 1 in 25 for this book. Like I said, I'm getting the Ryan Brown A, and I'm good with that. Rogue Storm is another book that is coming out here. So we're talking about X years later. Again, we're going into this event. So these are going to be little tweaks and twists on our characters and these titles for now. So Rogue Storm, number 1. This is the cover A. I'm probably getting the Talavera B here with the trade dress because I like it and I like Ivan Talavera. So I'm grabbing this one, though the C cover ain't bad, featuring Rogue. Was that Darbo? I think did that one. Then we do have the Yagawa cover that I mentioned before. Getting the spotlight there. And we've got yet a 5th option of open order covers here. Pretty nice. You got Storm holding the hammer, or holding an axe, I should say. Looks like almost like the God of Thunder, but not quite. She's goddess of I guess Thunder. What was the Storm? Anyway, it's Storm. But there is a 1 in 25 here as well. So here is the 1 in 25 featuring the 2 of them. And that one is done by Elizabeth Torque. And then there is actually a 1 in 50, which is that Talavera cover, but without the trade dress, which again, it's gorgeous. I just don't think I want to pay the premium for a 1 in 50. So I'll just take the trade dress, even though I do think the Virgin is a nicer look. You get rid of that, the weird book jacket kind of bar down the side. I don't love that for the event. I'm used to, the top. I'm used to the top stripe. When we got events and you tell me the parts that they are, I'm used to that at the top, like the Extinction Agenda, things like that. That's what my brain associates with events. I don't like this long down the side because I feel like I don't know. I don't care for it as much. With all that said, we still got more. Sinister's 6 is coming out. So we got here another series, a couple of heroes, villains mixed up together, even characters outside of the X universe, but in this universe or version, I guess. As you can see, Venom prominently displayed there. Cover A by David Marquez is fine, and I'm just probably getting that one. But we do have other options here. You got a B cover. We got a C cover here with a transforming Black Cat. I thought this was Hepzibah from the Starjammers, but apparently it's Black Cat. It has turned into some sort of mutant here. And then we've got the Yagawa cover, as I mentioned. Character spotlight. I still thought it was Hepzibah. Maybe it is Hepzibah. I don't know. And they're just calling her Black Cat. I don't know yet, but we'll see once I get to read it. And there's a 1 in 25, which is pretty cool, but you got to admit, it looks very similar to the cover A. So why not just get the cover A? With that said, one more for this week, and that's a lot. I'm telling you, this X event is killing my wallet right now. Because here we go with another $5 book, The Unbreakable X-Men, featured a blind gambit there with a lot of tombstones setting the stage for where we're at in this X years later. With that, I'm not getting the A. I think I got the Talavera B cover here. No, this is Lyrics Lee. I'm sorry, this is Lyrics Lee. Then we got a Yagawa spotlight, but on Spider-Girl. Okay. We also have Dodson. Okay. So cool. We got Dodson here. And then there is a foil edition that you can get for this book as well, featuring the blindfolded Gambit. And then there is also a 1 in 25 here by Jay Encelado. And then we will go back to that Lyrics Lee, remove the trade dress, and that will be our 1 in 50. Cool. Again, a lot of books, just like the other one for the event. There are the prologue editions. We had 3 prologues, and then we rolled in with the core issue starting on October 1st with that one-shot, the Overture. Then last week, we had a handful of new number ones with Amazing and Binary. And what else did we get last week? We've got Laura Kitty Sabretooth and Long Shots and World of Revelations. That was already 9 books building into this storyline. And then this week, we added 4 more. So from here, we added on Iron and Frost, Rogue Storm, Sinister 6, and then that final Unbreakable X-Men. So far, 13 parts. It's going to be a lot to keep up with. But speaking of a lot to keep up with, we do have a core issue, which means I will be getting it, of One World Under Doom to talk about here as well. So, One World Under Doom is finally nearing its end, as they're already announcing what its Dungeons of Doom or whatever, the sequel event or things, the wrap-up part is coming too. But here we go. One World Under Doom, still rolling on. Issue 8, as we're coming near a close. The penultimate issue, 1 more to go. A couple more tie-ins along the way. But we're almost at its end. And this thing took forever. Cover A is fine for me. I'm just going to get that, the Ben Harvey, personally. And then we do have other options here as well. So pick anyone that you like. You got a Stormbreaker cover by Capuccio. Not bad. We got an option here. We've got another one over here. And yet another one with a Tyrannosaurus Doom, whatever the heck they call this thing. Every one of these has had a cover featuring this thing. I think it's been overdone. I get it. It's a Tyrannosaurus Rex that's also Dr. Doom. Cool. Let's roll on. 1 in 25 option here. And that's it. No higher ratios, which is kind of a nice change of pace. I'm fine with 1 incentive. I don't think we need all that many regular open order variants. It's a lot to deal with, but maybe we're working our way there. Maybe we're working our way to a better world where not everything is so many exclusives and so many incentive variants where it's just too much to handle, too much to keep in the mental Rolodex when you're going and digging through back issues to know what the hell you're looking at, because there's so many cover options. You don't even know if you got the right cover or not, or which one you're looking for. That said, let's get into the pull list. As I said, no top of the stack. And even with those events, there's still quite a bit of books on my pull list, which again, It's hurting. It's hurting right now. Enjoying comics is a tough gig these days because there is a lot that I want to read and there's a lot I want to get into. But hey, we all got restraints on our time and our budgets. But here's some things I'm still getting. Absolute Flash. Still loving the Absolute Universe. Absolute Flash, number 8. I'm adding to the pile with just the cover A. I'm just going to get the A, even though B is fine. C and D are all right. Very bright with the yellow there. Very exaggerated with the art on the last two. So I'm just getting the A, and I'm good with it. After doing a taste test, I'm added Catwoman to my pile. I had realized I was getting so many of these just for the covers, and I just want to know what was going on with the Catwoman storyline. And all right, I'm down. I'm down for a little bit. Just gonna get the Fiamora here because they have been pretty good, but Catwoman has been killing it with these covers lately by mixing in some of my favorites like Panosian here and there. We got Cho along this run for all along the way, who has been getting the incentive treatment with his books as well. We've also got a Derek Chu option here, which ain't bad. And then we got a Scott Forbes, who is also getting in on the 1 in 25s, I believe, recently. But all of these are open order options. And with that, I'm still just grabbing the Fiamora, the A, because I like the style. And yeah, just going to keep rolling with it for now. Speaking of rolling with it for now, New Gods is rolling to, I think, a close of this 12-issue run, and then we'll be done. I can finally catch up reading this. Again, I've been picking these up because I like Ram V. I kind of like the idea of the New Gods. The first couple issues weren't bad. I just fell behind, but I'm getting the whole run. I'll read them eventually. So here we go with number 11. One more to go. Just getting the A, just to keep the set going. Some cool options here, though, with some of these other ones, but they're all open order. And then we'll get to Nightwing, which is another book I've been in and out and in and out. And right now, I guess I'm back in. I'm back in. I'm going to see what's going on with this Nightwing Prime storyline, I guess, for now. Pretty cool cover here with the Master of Puppets. Just getting the A, despite the fact that there's some good ones here. I probably should have got one of the other ones. You know what? Because I do like this. Dustin Weaver is nice. I like it with the rain. We've got a jumping one here by Paguin. I don't remember who the artist is on that one. Paguin or anything. And then we do have this one, which I do like a lot because I just like the fun angle of him playing the arcade. I think this is by Fornes. Probably should have got this one, but I think I asked just for the cover A. I should have probably gotten this one. Oh, well, we make mistakes sometimes with our requests. With that said, maybe I'll tweak it because, we still got until tomorrow. Anyway, with that said, let's go on to Beyond DC, Ghost Pepper. I like this series. I like this art. It's very Joe Mad-like. I dig it. I'm still on board. Issue 4 coming our way with 2 open order covers. While I like the A, I really like the B. So I think I'm getting, actually, I might be getting both. But when you pre-order, you get a discount, and I do that sometimes. I'll get the A's and the B's. Like on the G.I. Joes and Transformers, since you're only paying half price, it's like I'm getting 2 for 1. So I order both because sometimes you don't know what the good cover is going to be. Anyway, that aside, and me wasting money aside, the B cover I think I like in this one, as well as the 1 in 10 option here, which is another one of the usual suspect style lineup shots. We've got a pretty cool 1 in 25, not bad. And we've got a 1 in 50 option as well if you want to go that way. So, cool. Speaking of G.I. Joe, yes, G.I. Joe number 12 is coming out with a return of Shooter. So, all right, fan favorite Shooter. She goes back a ways. I might do something with this in Dollar Bin Digging if I have time, but it being Baltimore, it might get carried over into next week. We'll see how things go. We'll see what I can get done. But with that, Shooter is back being introduced into this universe of the Energon verse, but the character of Shooter's back. Issue 12. So here we go, issue 12, cover A. There is a cover B, which is pretty cool, featuring her right there with the sniper rifle in the tree, which is a nice look. Makes me think of Call of Duty. Then we also get her here on the 1 in 10, those Alan Qua connected cover desktop covers that I've been showing you the whole run throughout the way. So here we go. Going to continue it as here we are with number 12. So there we go. Boom. I like these. I like how these all connect and set up. It's like you're scanning across a desk with all these Polaroids and pictures, and you got little tidbits and trinkets and cups of coffee, etc., just laying there. So going back, this is issue 12, so 11, 10, 9, 8, and I think it goes all the way back to number 7 as our first one that featured Beachhead, Flint and Lady J on it. Speaking of Flint, He is on the 1 in 25 for this particular book. So you can get that with the action figure card back kind of style. That is on the 1 in 25. And there is yet another incentive with a 1 in 50, this time done by David Finch, who has been killing it with Skinbreaker of late. But this one's also pretty cool with the level of detail there. I like Finch. I've liked Finch going all the way back to the Top Cow days when he did, what was it, like Darkness and Ascension, etc. So I like David Finch's level of detail. And it's almost like Jim Lee-esque, but with a little bit of a Capullo slant to it. So I don't know. I like it. Anyway, moving on. Battle Beast. Battle Beast number 6. Continuing the storyline. I like this. I like this tale. It's kind of a simple, kind of straightforward storyline, but I've enjoyed it throughout the run. So here we go. Issue 6. Cover A. B. Then we got the incentives with the 1 in 10s. I think they're still doing way too many incentives for these, but buy them if you like them. I'm just fine with the A. 1 in 25, and then we also got a 1 in 50, and yeah, there is a 1 in 100. So I think it's overkill, but there you go. A lot of incentive options there. Moving on to Marvel, Amazing Spider-Man. We've got 2 Spider-Man running around. We got Norman keeping it down on lock down at home while Peter's up out in space. So we got both storylines still running through. Enter the Goblin Slayer here. So okay, things are amping up at home, I guess. Legacy 978 as we build towards that epic 1000th issue, still coming, still on the way. Issue 14, you got an A, you got a B, pretty solid. But for my money, the Bermejo has been killing it with these amazing visions. I've loved them all. This one's no different. Classic throwback image, but done in Bermejo style. I dig it. And then there's a 1 in 25 option here as well as a 1 in 100, which, yes, as you guessed it, will take Bermejo's beautiful cover and make it a virgin 1 in 100. In this case, the trade, and then the last few cases with these amazing visions, I don't mind the trade dress. They're not. Bermejo's done a good job of the art still coming through and not being obscured or ruined by the trade dress, etc. So I'm fine with the trade dress and don't need to pay a 1 in 100 price personally. But with that said, let's move on to Captain America number 4. I'm an issue or so behind. I know we still got the new Cap storyline kind of developing here, but I am an issue behind on this one, but I'm still going to be picking it up because I'm down for a little bit more Cap. This is Legacy 775, which is kind of a milestone number, but it's just issue 4 of this current run. We've got a cover A, which was pretty solid. I do like these chip covers here with the B. Oh, I'm sorry for that extra little bit of animation that was unnecessary. But we'll move on to the number 4 cover C. So we got that one, as well as a 1 in 25 option to just kind of wrap us up here with our Captain America number 4. Moving on to Punisher. So, Punisher, Red Band. Yeah, that's right. We're getting Red Band Punisher again with issue 2 by Percy. And a couple of good covers here. Cover A by Coquetto, ain't bad. There is a Tedesco option here. And then we've also got another one here. We've got a C. And then we got a 1 in 25, which is kind of weird. You got the car driving down the barrel of the gun. All right. It's just weird because of the curve. It's making me think, what is this, Wanted? I don't know. With that said, and then we got the 1 in 100, which will be a version of the Tedesco, which is pretty cool, but fine with the trade dress at this point. Why pay that premium? Catacomb of Torment. I'm still enjoying these EC horror anthologies, picking up all of them. I do like this. Who did this? Dustin Weaver did this cover. It feels like who was that? Eternity, right? I can't think of the name of that movie. With the kissing on the beachfront, but this here we got now zombies coming out of the water like it's Pirates of the Caribbean. But anyway, pretty cool cover. I like it. And that's the one I'm getting for this book. The B cover's not bad by Rico Murakami or something. I can't remember who did this one. Pretty sure that's who it was, but I could be butchering the name. And then we've got the Harvey style horror here after Craig that we're getting. So these homages, but in the like Harvey comics kind of style. It's kind of fun still on the 1 in 10s. The 1 in 20 is the sort of design cover towards the bees, which again is nothing new. And then we do have the 1 in 50, which looks like the table of contents again, which again is fine, but I don't know. I'm just going to get the A. Speaking of anthologies, Hello Darkness is still rolling on, so I'm still going to be picking them up. Here we go. We've got a pretty cool Rebecca Pueblo cover A, which I do like. This is another title. It's got a number of really good covers. It's kind of hard to pick just one with the Jenny Frison option here. Miguel Mercado giving us this creepy one with the head just slipping underneath the monitor. It's creepy, right? I don't know. It looks like it could be a World Tree cover, but I like it. And then we've got another option here. This is Torrin Clark, I think, might have done this one. And then we've got some incentives. We got the 1 in 10, which is a version of the Rebecca Pueblo. And then we'll bring back that last one, make that the version for the 1 in 20s. That's the Boom anniversary issue. The Boom 20th anniversary, doing the 1 in 20s, this whole run of Boom books. Anyway, with that said, Bad Idea. So Bad Idea does have a new #1 coming out this week, but we do have a #2 coming out for Survive, that submarine story with the underwater creature, whatever. I'm on board. I like Bad Idea these days. The offerings they've had lately have had great art. The writing's good. They're self-contained stories, so I know I'm not going to be buying into a book forever. It's just like, all right, I'm going to be buying into a mini that's got solid story, that hopefully has a solid story all the way through. You don't know until it's done, but the art is there. So with that, I'm getting issue 2. I'm not sure if I'm getting the A or the B, but I'm fine with either, because the incentives, I don't need to pay the extra for that. 1 in 20 here, and then there is a 1 in 50. So again, I'm fine with the regular covers. But before we move on, I want to remind anybody out there who hasn't tried Whatnot yet, use my code down below for $15 off your first order. So first-time users get $15 by using my sign-up code down below, my invite, $15 to spend on whatever you want with whomever you want. No strings attached. You get yourself $15 on your first purchase. You help out the channel. You get yourself a little, some money off, or get something free if it's $15 or less. So with that said, let's also take a look at some blind picks. So I think I only got one blind pick for this week, but this is something that, again, I have no prior knowledge, no early looks, previews, or anything like that. I'm just basing it off of gut instinct, creators, what I think is going to be a good pickup for this week, something to read, something that's pretty cool. And for this week, I've decided that, yeah, I am still interested in what Bad Idea is doing. So save now, #1. This art looks fantastic. You got a little timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly sort of a time story here. So a little sci-fi going. I'm in. A lot more text there. If you want to read the whole synopsis, you can, but save now. And this was a book that was previewed months ago, one of the cons, I think San Diego. And then there was a book that was pretty hot that people were going after, that ash can. This is just the regular book coming out. So I'm on board to grab this. I like the cover A. There is a cover B option here as well, but I'm probably just sticking with the A. And then that A also has different versions. So we're going to get a Chromium edition, which could be kind of cool. You remember old school Chromium from back in the 90s. The Valiant used to be king of the Chromium in my mind. But with that, we also have a 1 in 20, which says it's a candy wrapper. I don't know what that means. I haven't seen one in person, so I don't know what candy wrapper cover means. I'm curious, but that is the 1 in 20. There is a 1 in 50, and there is a 1 in 100. Don't need those. I just want to know what the candy wrapper thing is. But otherwise, I'm fine with the cover art on the A. The Chromium could be interesting. Oh, I'm sorry. We're not done. Even after the 1 in 100, I forgot. There was still one more 1 in 250 Sanford Green cover, which is pretty cool. But there's no way I'm buying a 1 in 250. I've already mentioned that before in the other books. We've come across that high of a ratio. But it is kind of cool. With that said, are we getting Spider-Man 94 this week? Or is this a mistake? No, that's a mistake. Yeah, this was last week. It was on the fence. Yeah, still on the fence about it. But yeah, that was last week. My bad. Taste test is where we're going next. That makes more sense. So we had the blind pick. Now I got the taste test books. These are books that could be new or could be titles I'm going to try to go back to because, what's going on. Check things out. Follow up. With that, I'm probably going to continue on for now with Wonder Woman. So I'm going to try it out. I grabbed that Matriarch book last week because I got hot, and I'm like, it's a pretty cool cover. People are talking up this Tom King story. It's like Dark Knight Returns future for Wonder Woman. All right. I'll take a look. So I'm going to grab issue 26 in the spirit of checking this out. With that said, there's the cover A. Nakayama giving us a B cover. You got a C cover by Omar. I don't know how you pronounce it. I don't know if the H is silent or not. And then we got a D cover. Again, no incentives, all open order. So pick the one that's your favorite. I'm probably just going to save the buck and get the cover A, even though I do like Nakayama. I might get that one. I don't know. Also, in the spirit of trying things out, I'm also a sucker for last issues. So apparently, this is going to be the last issue of Incredible Hulk before we get something new, because we're getting some sort of change in status quo, if you will. So I'm curious to know what that change in status quo is going to be. I've been in and out again on the Incredible Hulk run for a while, just because it felt like it dragged at times. But all in all, I did enjoy it, and I did enjoy the more horror and the darker angle that Philip Kennedy Johnson did take this in. But I'm going to check out issue 30 and see how this all wraps up. And it's the first appearance of the Mother of Horrors in this link. So, all right, the end of an era and the beginning of a new one. I hear words like that, I get curious. So I'm probably going to check out issue 30 of Incredible Hulk. Cover A is pretty solid. There is a B cover here, pretty creepy, with Bruce climbing out of Hulk's mouth. And then the 1 in 25 by Kyle Hotz is pretty cool. I dig it. But I don't know if I'm going 125 on this. I'm probably just going to get the cover A and be good. All right, so before we get into some more things that might be out there on the shelves for you guys, I also want to remind anybody who needs supplies, use my code RENA10 over at BCW to save yourself 10% off your entire order. Get your bags, your boards, your long boxes, short boxes, CGC boxes, top loaders, etc. Basically, anything to keep your comics or collectibles safe. You can get your supplies at BCW and save some money while you do it. Use my code RENA10 for 10% off the entire order. You help out the channel, you get yourself a discount. Once again, nothing to lose. So if you're going to be ordering those supplies anyway, save a few bucks while you're at it. With that said, let's see what else is out there on the racks that I am personally not getting yet, but maybe. I don't know. But you saw, I'm hurting already. Look at that, how many books I got to try to read and catch up with. But there's still more out there that I know some of you might be interested in. So that's where we're going with. Still on the rack. Here are some more titles coming out this week, including World's Finest. But we're getting Robin and Supergirl teaming up for a road trip. Seems kind of fun. But again, I'm not big on World's Finest, so I'm not grabbing this one. Couple of covers. You got the A, you got a B, even though that's Soups and Bats. It's kind of classic looking. We go back to the actual stars of the book, Robin and Supergirl here on this road trip. Kind of like that option there. And then we'll get, Supergirl carrying Robin. Fun. Again, no incentives, open order, pick which one you like. Moving on. Justice League Red, an extra Justice League that had some red colored characters in it, like Red Canary and Red Tornado. That's all I really can say about this title, because I'm not reading it. Sorry, just not doing it. More Justice League, too much for me. I do like this Red Canary cover. I almost put it in my favorites, but there were a lot of really nice covers this week. So much so that I actually had to make 2 shorts of my top 5 and then the next 5, because there were a lot of good covers this week. And this one was right there in the mix, even though I'm not picking up this title. Then we got this option here. Not bad. And then we're going to go to Crypto, because, well, there's a Crypto book. Again, not for me. So I think this might be it. I think this might be the final issue. Finally, issue 5, wrapping up this Crypto storyline. This one, the B cover's pretty solid, but again, it's not for me. I enjoyed Crypto in the movie, but I don't need a comic to go along with it. So I left this one behind. Along with Superman Unlimited, because I just can't read all this Superman stuff. Way too many Superman titles these days. I get it. Movie out, popularity, trying to cash in, etc., but it's too much. Too many books for me. But here we got issue 6 of Unlimited. There is a Mark Spears Lex Luthor cover, which kind of looks like Mr. Burns ended up going into the DC universe. And that's who he would be. He'd be Lex, right? I guess. With that, there's our cover B. And then we've got this cover, Gilliam March option there. We got one with Crypto here. Cool. And then we've got, like, When Atlas Shrugged, Superman holding up this kryptonite rock. Cool. While I did get turned on to the Jason Aaron run of Turtles a little bit late, I'm not keeping up with the Turtle stuff. So despite the idea of a Shredder's comic being kind of interesting, looks like Ninja Gaiden, but yeah, I'm just not picking this up. I just can't do everything. But there is issue 2 of Shredder coming out. If you're a huge Turtle fan, or you do like the Turtle stuff and you want to see more about Shredder, written by Dan Waters of Nightwing fame, we got cover options too. You got A's, you got B's, and they are solid. I just can't do it. See, all of these are pretty good. And like I said, it is ninjas. I do like ninjas. I should, by all intents and purposes, be picking this up. If it's good, please tell me in the comments down below if I'm missing out. But I'm just going with my gut saying I just don't have the time. With that, 1 in 10. So there's a 1 in 10 option. Looks like King Cobra. Then we got a 1 in 25, which is a black and white version of that C cover, which again, pretty cool, but it's an incentive. So it's going to probably cost you a little extra. All right, here's another title that I checked out on kind of early. Lucky Devils by Soul and Ryan Brown. It was their follow-up to 8 Billion Genies, which I know a lot of fans, a lot of people loved it. A lot of people liked this when it started too. The story was all right. I wasn't 100% on board, and then the delays, I was easy to just check out here. So this has gone months. I don't even remember when the last issue came out, but here's issue 5 coming out now. Yeah, so if you're still on board, here's your cover A option, or your creepy as hell cover B. Yeah, that's a creepy B cover. Just saying. I like it. Even as a sketch, it's pretty cool. But again, I'm just not up to date. Don't know what's going on. So speaking of not knowing what's going on, I know that massive verse with why am I drawing a blank on his name? Radiant Black. So the Radiant Black stuff, I'm so far behind. I heard it was good. Heard it was Invincible like, but not just a knockoff. But it's just something I'm just not up to date on. So maybe one day I'll check it. That's what I did with Invincible. I wasn't reading that when it was coming out week to week. It was just something that was in the background. I heard it was good, and eventually I just bought all of the collected editions. But here we go with Rogue Sun number 30. Cover A option. We got an homage to the first appearance of Angela. That's Spawn 9. Pretty fun there because Medieval Spawn is showing up in this title. And then we have the cover A brought back for incentive, but we'll make it a virgin for the 1 in 25. So cool. Medieval Spawn. Speaking of Spawn, yes, we've got another issue of Spawn, issue 369 coming out. This is another title. I've been in and out on just getting them, mostly because you could pre-order them for like $2, or it's actually less because it used to be $2.99. Now it's $3.99. And I'm just checked out right. I've not really been a big reader of Spawn. I've collected Spawn since the beginning because I like Todd McFarlane. I like the art. I did read those earlier issues when back when they first started. But what I'm saying is 369 issues. I've probably read maybe a dozen or maybe 20 over that entire run. So just never been huge into the lore of Spawn, though I do like a lot of the covers. And I was getting a lot of these out of habit and because they were cheap. But here we go. Cover A. Cover B. I know you guys have collected stuff like that too. So don't look at me like I'm crazy where you just buy something just to buy it, even though you're not really keeping up with it or even reading it. It's just habit. I know I'm not alone with that. So I'm just admitting it. But there's A cover, B cover. The B cover is not bad, but I get a little lost with all those spikes. Like, I don't know what's a leg and what's an arm, and I just don't know what's going on completely. So, or how he's not hurting himself. Because the spikes go all the way around, so you would think it's jabbing in his thigh if he's squatting. But whatever. I guess he's spawned and he's kind of dead already, so maybe it doesn't hurt. Just heals up. I'll admit it. I love Godzilla, but I don't know. Just not connecting with these Marvel crossovers so much so that I just can't do it just out of habit. It's just so I checked out. Godzilla destroying the Marvel universe. Yes, issue 4 is coming out, but I just wasn't on board. So I sat down. But I will say this is the cover A, which ain't bad. Nice Mark Brooks cover. I do like this cover here. This Echo. I don't know how you say it. It's ACO as the artist. I really like it. I love the colors. It feels like a blacklight cover or something like that. I just dig it. This Wolverine Godzilla is kind of weird. It is. Don't pretend it's not. It is kind of weird. Then we got the we call it the action figure cover, which doesn't make sense for the Godzillas because they're huge. And then we've got another option here. Cool. Hulk punching him in the face. 1 in 25. Yep, there's 1 in 25 where Godzilla's trying to eat Hulk. And then there's a 1 in 50, which we're going to take that Mark Brooks, but get rid of that trade dress, which actually is an improvement because while it is nice placement, putting it there in the middle, it does cover up much of your Godzilla. So when you remove it, you're not so distracted by the title, which is really right there in the center. It's so prominent. Now I can see the art, which again, I can appreciate a little bit better by Mark Brooks. But unfortunately, I'm not picking up this title. Moving on back to the Ultimate Universe, Ultimate Black Panther still chugging along with issue 21. You got a cover A. You got a pretty solid cover B with him riding, I guess, the Panther cycle. I don't know what's going on. Or is it the Tron cycle, light cycle, whatever. And we got a 1 in 25 by Godtail, which is actually pretty cool. So there's that. Why do I feel like that was last week? I feel like I already talked about that book. Anyway, maybe it's just because I made the deck and I was supposed to do this last night, so all of this seems familiar. But we still got a hell of a lot of number ones to go through. So let's try to get through this so this show doesn't go too far over an hour. With that, number ones. So what do we got coming out? New number ones this week that I haven't already talked about in those other segments. We got a Dungeons and Dragons book. I like Dungeons and Dragons, so I actually did pre-order this. The Fallbacks. Yeah, this is the cover A. Greg Pak. Dungeons and Dragons. Pretty cool. All the covers are solid. There's a B. We got a C. And we got a D. Again, they're all pretty good. But I think I pre-ordered the Dan Panosian, so this is the one I'm getting, the 5th cover. All open order, all cover price, so grab which one that you like. 30 Days of Night, Falling Sun. So 30 Days of Night is back. Been a while. IDW Dark. Yeah, I mean, it was a fun storyline way back in the day, made for an interesting movie too. But I don't know if I'm going to be picking this one up. But yeah, we're getting another 30 Days of Night with cool covers. This cover A, solid. B, also solid. I mean, they're creepy. They're vampires. They're dark. We'll get a virgin version for the 1 in 25 if you want to go that way. And then there is different art on the 1 in 50, which looks like an urn and some blood. I don't know. Don't know what's going on in the story, but that's coming out as well. As more turtle stuff. So like I said, if you like turtles, here we go with Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which I believe is an adaptation of the cartoon, the new cartoon. I don't know. It's a cool look for them, different, which is always nice. I mean, the Turtles have always reinvented the way that they've looked and how the art have they been presented through many iterations over the years. But here's another one. So we got issue 1 with a cover A. You got a B. I really like the 1 in 25 here, which is a good cityscape. I like a good cityscape, and you got the graffiti of the team on the wall. And then even more fun, we'll take that wall shot of the graffiti and get a good look at it for the 1 in 50. So, yeah, it's kind of fun. I like it. Moving on. Hector Plasm, Hunt the Bigfoot. Okay. Image is giving us a horror Bigfoot title of some sort. Ghost Hunter, Hectoplasm, all right, so we got another dark supernatural sort of book coming out. A couple of covers on it with A's and B's. And then we've got 1 in 10 as well as a blank if you want to go with a blank route. The 1 in 25 is pretty cool because it's like an eerie cover. It reminds me, I mean, even the trade dress is kind of in that mold. So I kind of like that. And then there is also a 1 in 50, which is a foil version of that cover A. So yeah, cool. I didn't know they were going to do a crossover, but apparently Fantastic Four and Gargoyles are crossing over with each other. And yeah, we have this. Okay, cover A. Yeah, there's more text if you need more explanation other than that, but okay, FF and Gargoyles. I will say this is a pretty awesome Delato cover. That's pretty cool. Just looking at this one, it's just, yeah, I like it. Then we got a blank, and you got some other options here. Some of the other characters. This is Scotty Young. Sure, Scotty Young's fine. That's always fun. We've got a Peach Momoko on a 1 in 25. Shit, we'll bring back the Delato and give you a virgin version of that for the 1 in 50, which again, pretty awesome. And then, hey, Scotty Young version of that will be our 1 in 100. So these could do well for fans of both. For people who just like these pretty awesome covers, want to go cover chasing, they're out there. All right, this next one coming out of Invader Comics, publisher I don't know much about. $8, but Artillery Weapons of Art. It's a whole AI kind of like story. It's almost like a meta thing about a comic book about AI. Almost like a Black Mirror kind of episode, I guess. I don't know. Seemed kind of interesting. So I don't know. It was out there. Only one cover if you want to pick it up. But it is $8 for 44 pages, so it's oversized. So you're getting extra book for your extra money. And then we've got another title to talk about, which is Craniacs. So Craniacs, which, yes, if this looks familiar, Joe Simcoe, Garbage Pail Kids. So yeah, Garbage Pail Kids, one of the top artists of that of that product, is making this comic. So it's gonna look like it. So debut comic, yeah, there we go. We've got other covers here, A's and B's. We got a C with a pumpkin head skull. All right, that's kind of cool. What was that, caramel dumping out of the bone? I don't know what the hell's going on here, but yeah. We've also got a black and white version of that cover A option as well as this guy. And we got this one, bright colors, bright yellow. And we even got a version of that B cover. So as far as I understand it, they're all open order. So grab whichever one you like. And if you like oversized books, well, then DSTLRY has got a new title for you with Endeavor. So again, these sound interesting, but the price point and them being the oversized and the prestige format, I don't know. I tried a couple early on, but I just couldn't keep up with it. But DSTLRY does have a lot of interesting titles and interesting storylines. So this is being another one from Stephanie Phillips. She did Life, Harley, Grimm, some of the other titles. It's pretty cool sounding if you read the premise. I'm not going to get into the whole thing, but because I'm not picking it up. But if you're fans of Lord of the Flies or Yellow Jacket, they point to this. I think it's something to do with New Zealand. It's kind of a historical, kind of a partial historical tale. Cover A. There's a B. There is also a blank and a C. And incentives, because DSTLRY also does incentives. 1 in 10, as well as a 1 in 25. So if you're interested, there are your options. And while we're speaking of oversized books, we're getting one here for the Haunted Box. So the Haunted Box is another magazine-sized 44-pager with, yes, a skinless woman right there on the cover. That's kind of creepy, sure. But it's horror anthology storyline, as I understand it. We got a blood bear attacking this broad with a couple and she's got I think it's a rifle and a hatchet. But all right, that's kind of cool. And then we're actually going to put the skin on that cover A for another option for you. So there you go. Nice looking lady there. And if you want it like silhouette style, noir sepia toned, that will be your 1 in 10. So there you go. You can get that one if you want a reverse negative kind of thing. Cool. I mean, it's one of those that's probably gonna be tough to find, like these smaller publishers doing incentives. And we'll get to another book later, which is gonna be pretty tough to come by. But I think it could be cool if you can find it. I'm sorry. This was the one that was more like Black Mirror. I had this in my head, Terror Bites. So boundaries of speculative fiction. And yeah, this sounded like a Black Mirror when I was reading the synopsis. At a Mad Cave, Terror Bites, #1. Just 2 covers. Pick A or the B. Apparently, like you relive your best moments over and over again, but it comes at a cost. So I'm assuming like you're stuck in the Matrix or something. I don't know. Like I said, read like a Black Mirror episode. The synopsis, at least. With that, Yuletide. Little early for Christmas for me. I think we got to wait until at least November, if not December, but a little early. I mean, we didn't even hit Halloween yet. So let's get into Yuletide. Seems a bit early out of Oni, but I do like this cover by Ito. But yeah, here's a whole big thing. I don't know exactly what it's about. It just looks cool, but again, it's Christmas, so I can just kind of put it aside. I'm like, no, I'm not ready for Christmas. Sorry. As cool as this cover is. But apparently it's in the tradition of Goonies and Hocus Pocus and Goosebumps, so it sounds like it could be fun. But again, I don't want to start my countdown to Christmas yet. Let me get to Halloween. Let me get to Thanksgiving. Then I'll start worrying about Christmas. But yeah, cool cover A. You got a cover B. You got a cover C. Also, not bad. And then there is a 1 in 10, which is a version of that cover A, which again, pretty awesome. I do like it quite a bit. But it's Christmas. Too early. All right. Facsimiles. So we do have a couple facsimiles to get through for this week. Not a ton. Just a couple of books that they're reprinting for our pleasure. Civil War #3, okay, and they're giving you the Turner B cover in a foil version if you want that, as well as a brand new cover art on the 1 in 25. All right, I don't need to get this redone, but they're out there if you need to catch up on Civil War. It was a great read, but I got my originals. So I don't need to get facsimiles. Nor do I need to get black and white versions of books. I know they're kind of fun to look at, but I got so many other things I got to spend money on. But here we go. Work in Progress from DC, which is kind of like their, hey, look at the unfinished art, yada yada. Yeah, it's fun, it's cool, but this one is for American Vampire #1. I just can't personally. That's all. They also did something similar over at Marvel with Wolverine Revenge. So you got the black and white edition by Capullo. So yeah, if you want it, you can get it. Later printings, we do not have a slew of Absolute books. So we're caught up for now on the Absolute reprints, but we do have other reprints to talk about. Later printings, if you want to think they're all second prints, starting off with Batman #1. So if you missed out on Batman #1, I don't know how you did. Yeah, you've got cover A. You've got this cover by Dan Mora, which is pretty solid. We'll also make it foil if you want a foil version of it. So we've got 3 now covers for the second print of Batman #1, and that's not enough because we have a 4th with Batman Who Lost His Shoe. So just like Ed Rooney at the end of Ferris Bueller, Batman lost his shoe on the way home. Maybe he got a ride and some warm gummy bears from the girl sitting next to him on the school bus. I don't know, but you can buy this if you want it. Or you could buy this second print for Event Horizon, Dark Descent. Yeah, I know people were excited by this coming back, but I don't know. I was never a huge Event Horizon fan. Maybe it's a movie I got to go back to. I mean, I'm kind of in the sci-fi like headspace right now after finally catching up and finishing Alien Earth. Like I'm kind of in that headspace, so maybe I should go and check out the original Event Horizon and maybe even check out this book. But issue 1 has a second printing. Let me know about it all down below. If you ever hear me saying weird stuff, you have recommendations, please. I'm open to it. With that, Dead Samurai. I like the look of this, and I want to check this out, but it is at a wake. I don't know if most shops are going to have it, and I don't know if it's going to be easy to come by, but this is a pretty cool cover, and yeah, it's a samurai, so you got my attention. And it's a second print for the original book, which also apparently has a 1 in 15 that I saw in one place for a virgin version of this, as well as new cover art on a second print 1 in 25. Yeah, with Chesty McGee here. So cool. I mean, I don't know where you're going to find it or if you could find it, but this will probably be a toughie. So yeah, I mean, you probably could find it at Torpedo. You go directly to their site, maybe. Because, yeah. Anyway, what else do we got? Punisher. Yes, that's right. So that new Punisher series, second print for #1. This is just the skull. And then we've got the Gist cover on the 1 in 25 incentive for it. So, yeah, if you need your second print, I think this is the Red Band Punisher, not the one that came out last week with the Dan Panosian Worlds to Come, that Future Tale. This is the Red Band Punisher one, the Coquetto that we just get in issue 2 out this week as well. So if you need to catch up, you get 1 and 2 together. There you go. Mortal Thor #1 has a second printing as well. I like this story, actually. So if you missed out and you can't find a regular cover, regular first print, yeah, maybe give this a read because I thought this was pretty good. But second printing for Mortal Thor #1. Plus, there's a pretty cool Gleason cover on it. And then you got the Alex Ross, which is the cover art on the regular cover A, but here in a Virgin is your 1 in 25 option. Wrap it up our Pumpkin Spices. I think this is the last one. I already did the short for them, but Catwoman this week does have a Pumpkin Spicy cover, which is her on a motorized unicycle. So yeah, it's cool cover. I like it. But yeah, I'm fine just getting the A though, that Fiamora. Those White Tiger team ups that we're getting this month. We took a week off last week because we got one on October 1st. October 8th, we got none. This week, we have another installment in this White Tiger team up cover, I think by Gonzo that was doing them all. And this time out, it's on the Hulk book. So we're getting Hulk with White Tiger on Hulk 30. So yeah, and they all seem to have this, the glowy tiger in the background of all, which is pretty cool. And yeah, it's a a different art style, so it may not be for everyone, but I dig it. Then we got Muppet books. That's right, 70 years of Muppets, and they're invading Marvel with some homage covers, some homages, if you will. And yes, you can say it all 3 different ways. I looked it up. With that said, Amazing Spider-Man number 14 has got this one, which we have seen this book done. I mean, Jesus, the Doom books. How many times have we seen this one done? Stop. Leave the Fantastic Four 112 alone for a while, please. Enough said. Don't do it again. Statler and Waldorf doing it is still pretty funny, though. But we don't need to see it. There's a lot of different face-off covers you could have done. You could have done the Zek, Cap, and Wolverine with the 2 of them. I would have been just as happy. Just leave 112 alone for a while. Too many of them. Then we've got Captain America number 4. We got Sam the Eagle right there, front and center, with the little prawn. I remember the little prawn dude's name. And Skeeter. Yeah. Well, you know, this classic Cap cover on 111 by Steranko. Cool. And then Hulk. I mean, Bunsen, Beaker. Can't go wrong here with a Hulk 1 on the Hulk 30. So, sorry, to show you the homage. I mean, you know it by now, but there you go. I don't know, maybe with the actual release, they'll have the pop-ups, because you got to have the question, is he man or monster? Or is he both? You kind of need that to really sell the homage, but we'll see what the final edition looks like. With that, that's our next chunk. We've got 2 more coming next week, and then all the Muppets will be done. But we've got Tron Ares still. So with Tron Ares, we've got a couple this week, I think. We got 2. I think we've got Cap, a glowy Tron Cap, and we've got a Hulk. So you can see Hulk's got a lot of variants on that Hulk 30. There we go. Also doing the Hulk 1 homage. Who did it better, Bunsen and Beaker or Tron? I'm going Bunsen and Beaker. With that said, a bunch coming next week, and then 1 more in our final week. We'll wrap up the Trons. So yeah, if you want to see Tron Ares, which I think the movie just came out, yeah, no idea if it's any good, but we got covers along with some Cheesecake covers. Sorry, I'm trying to speed up to get this show done because I like to do it in an hour, but there are a lot of books this week, so I couldn't help it. With that said, we do have some Cheesecake covers to go over, including these 2 from Fire and Ice. Granted, there are more than 2 covers, but I'm only going to show you the Linsner and this one right here, the Just Go, because they fit the Cheesecake segment. The other 2 were more about the Barbarian, so we'll leave those for another segment. Maybe we'll have a Beefcake segment these days, because apparently all those Beefcake covers are selling pretty well. You know, the Nightwings and the Sweater Weathers and the Spicy Pumpkins, they're doing well. With that, Sonya Reborn, issue 2. So yeah, not bad. Cover A. We've got other options for you here and here, as well as here by Greg Land, and even no cosplay on that one, but we do have Vampirella. So Vampirella Armageddon number 4. I think it's the Matina starting us off, and then we got other options as well if you like your Vampy. Linsner. Here's a cosplay, because you got to have a Vampy cosplay. And then we'll get to Witchblade. More Bad Girls of the 90s continuing in this Cheesecake segment. This one's not so cheesecakey, but the Sozo Micah on the B is a bit more. So that'll probably be the cover of choice for... Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know why that Vampirella Armageddon is there. Shouldn't be there. That should be the cover A. My bad, but I'm not going back to fix it. But there is a 1 in 25, which is a virgin version of that Sozo Micah. So yeah, that one could see some interest. Then we've got this oddball title out of Midnight Factory. One Last Trick. So yeah, Cybernetic Escort. Cool. By Joseph Schmalke. Kind of interested. Midnight Factory. This is the cover A. Fits our criteria for this section. This is the cover B. But I'll tell you, and this will probably be impossible to find because it was pretty tough for me to find one. But I did find it. 1 in 10. I really dig this. I don't know, like the pink haircut. It looks like the wrestler, like with the shape, the side of the head shaved. It's a cool look. I like it. 1 in 10. it'll probably be pretty tough to find this one last trick book in and of itself, let alone a 1 in 10 incentive. So one to keep an eye on. It was sold out in a lot of the online places already. Like Midtown didn't have any. I looked, and Golden Apple and Third Eye, etc. It was tough. I actually found a place over in Australia, so I had to pay some international shipping. So I made sure I bulked up my order to cover paying the high shipping rate, but I think it'll be worth it. With all that said, and my low levels of impulse, my impulse control being that low, let's move on. Finally, try to wrap up the show here with some covers. These are some covers that didn't fit anywhere else in the show, but I still like them. I still think they deserve a shout out. And we'll start off with this Thundercats. We're already at issue 19, but this Perillo is a pretty awesome cover. It's solid. Blade Runner. This Blade Runner Black Lotus. I like the covers. Don't know much about the title because I'm not reading it. But Black Lotus, Blade Runner. You got a Danny on this one. This looks like Elizabeth Taylor from back in the day. This VV Glass. I really dig this one. It gives me sort of a Rey from Star Wars kind of vibe. I don't know. Jesus Hervas. I like it a lot, though. This is one of my favorites of the week. And then you got this option, which ain't bad. So, yeah, Frederick Sabatini. It's just cool covers on that one. So, didn't know where else to put it. And then this Raza just is messed up. I like how the violence in the blood is worked into the trade dress, everything. It just works. Yeah, it's messed up with the bloody teeth. Tama. So this Pokemon horror book is halfway done. And yeah, got Ashley Wooder giving us a cover. That was kind of fun with the little claw coming out. And then Tony Fleece is still doing those Game Boy homages. So they're still pretty fun. 1 in 10s. So keep an eye out on those. And then this war book had some good covers. This one by Becky Cloonan. And this war title is Garth Ennis and Becky Cloonan. They already did this story. If you read Hello Darkness, you already have these, but they collected them and are selling that storyline separately here in War number 3. So it's collecting part numbers 4 through 6 of War from Hello Darkness. So yeah, you can see they're moving on from there, but still cool covers. You got, like I said, that Becky Cloonan. We've got this Bjorn Barons, also pretty good. They're also virgin versions of both. One of them is an open order, the other one being the 1 in 10. So yeah, if you don't like the trade dress, you can get those. And then there is a 1 in 20, which is also a virgin, but of different art, done by Riko Murakami, who did that EC book. When I couldn't remember the B cover, I thought it was Riko Murakami. And again, don't know if I'm saying her name properly. But with that, those were the covers I had to cover because they were too cool not to mention. But they were not the best of the week. This is my top 2 of the week. So with that, we'll get to my favorite incentive, and my favorite incentive book of the week actually was that 1 in 10. I told you, it's by Ashred or Red. I forget the name of the artist. I don't know much about the artist, but I just like this cover. So it is my favorite incentive of the week, this 1 in 10. And I said it earlier on in the show, the Bermejo still with the trade dress doesn't affect the art, in my opinion, much. I like it. It's my favorite open order cover of the week. And that is it. That is the show. Sorry I ran over an hour. Tried my best to be short, but there were a lot of books to go through. And we had to cover a lot of that blind bag stuff, which I know a lot of people aren't going to like, but I'll try to chapter this out if I can. And yeah, with all that said, thanks for all the support. I want to thank you for stopping by and supporting the channel, checking out the show, going through my rundowns. Again, let me know your suggestions down below. If you're in Baltimore, come by, say hello. I got to make up some mystery packs. We might even do some, I was talking to Marco, we might even do some doodling on the outside of the blind bags to, just make them kind of interesting and personalized, and you pick whatever you like. With all of that said, still having a lot of fun doing this. Hopefully you're on board for more. Keep telling your friends so we can keep growing. And I'll see you all later with some more content. All right. Bye.